Hey y'all,
Hey.
how are ya? I am Trip, and we are tripping with Allison Heinemeyer, Director of Habitable Spaces, and Shane Heinemeyer, also Director of Habitable Spaces. Yay!
Right.
And behind us, we have two habitats that Shane and Allison have been working on for a very long time. One being the A-frame that we'll show you, which was just air conditioned, which is huge news around here in Texas because it is so hot. And over here we have what formerly was a yurt and now is a roundhouse with real walls and drywall. So we're going to take you on a little tour of that. Allison, could you give us a little bit of history on what you've done? Oh, one thing I should mention is that we have a tent right over there. And Habitable Spaces started out as a tent. Shane and Allison, can you step over? Shane and Allison slept in a tent when they first got here, and you'll hear in the interview the history, but they are in the process 8 years later of upgrading to real permanent habitats and tiny homes, which I'm a huge fan of, and I've loved watching the progress here. So I'm going to let Allison give you a little history of what's been done, and then we're going to show you some construction in the roundhouse, which I'm really excited about. All right, you're up.
So yeah, when we first came out here, we pitched a tent, a large tent, 12 feet by 24, with a wood burning stove in it. So it was, nice but hot.
Hot.
Yeah, and
I slept at the foot of their bed
Yes,
when we
yes.
first got here. So there's a lot of critters too. You got to have a tent.
Yes.
There's definitely no nap time in that tank.
No, not in
No.
the
You
summer.
only can sleep at
No
night.
siesta there.
No. So, we've been gradually building the space, building all the buildings, and we've got the common house done, we've got our place done, and we have our farm manager's house done. But now we're trying to get
So
the
cool, too.
volunteer spaces finished. The A-frame that you see behind you here was formerly just a screened-in structure so that we didn't have to air condition it. And it did get really great airflow, and then we would always just shut in the summertime, so we wouldn't be open July or August.
Yeah.
And it actually was livable until about June 15th.
Yeah. I came here on quarantine for a concert in Austin in March, or pre-quarantine, and then quarantine hit. So I had to stay here from New York City, and I stayed. Damn, these neighbors are loud. I stayed in that A-frame, transitioning from spring to summertime, and it was such a magical experience because we went from bare trees to having a full 180-degree view over there in those windows of all the trees coming in, all the leaves coming in, the foliage. And over here we have some amazing orchards and fruit trees, and it's just so spectacular waking up to that every day. And I tried to stay as long as I could,
Yes.
but
You
the
lasted
heat,
quite a bit.
I did. The heat, I couldn't stand the heat, so I had to get out of the kitchen. But now it is air conditioned, so we're about to move someone in. Before they do, we're going to give you a little tour.
Yeah.
All right. Look at that. Look at those colors. So cool. Open the door and let us see inside. Wow. All right.
So this space used to have a huge bank of screened-in windows here, and we just realized we can't use it 6 months out of the year when we do that. So we went ahead and replaced the windows.
Mm-hmm.
And
They look
come on in.
terrific. I really like the white with the colored chair.
Yes.
And you've decided to air condition this space,
Yes.
right?
So we used a mini split, which is
This
running
is
right
so
now.
amazing. I'm going to
This-
close the doors.
Yeah, this space
don't let the
is
AC out.
wonderfully cool now. These mini splits, this is a Pioneer mini split, and it's actually one of the ones recommended if you're going to do it yourself. It can be very, very expensive to get mini splits installed professionally, but we love to do everything ourselves here, and Pioneer's super helpful. They have very elaborate instructions, and yeah, you can just pop these units in. It's really easy.
Great. And so you've got this unit here, and then you've got the unit over there in the roundhouse.
Yes, that one's not installed yet, but the
Okay.
exterior unit is installed and this one's working.
They're
Great.
both run off the same machine.
Okay. And so we got a bed down here. That is a queen size bed,
Yep,
right?
that's a queen size bed.
Storage space underneath, which I love.
And then we have a mattress stored up here, but I think we're gonna replace it with just a rolled up futon, so that it can either be a sleeping space for someone else, or you can roll it up and then just have it as a storage space.
Great.
And then a big desk space.
Oh, this desk was for me the highlight. Look at this. So you can sit here. I was pretend DJing, so I would have my DJ set up there. And these windows, this used to be all screens, but they had to put the windows in afterward. But this is such a spectacular view to wake up in the morning and you hear the chickens and all the animals. And it's just really a fantastic experience. It's really quiet. And you're living amongst the trees here, which I think is a big highlight here. It's like a tree house. So you are surrounded by trees over here. It's like a little cradle.
And it's a tiny space, but it feels really roomy and functional and so nice and cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the biggest point.
It's fantastic. So we've got a queen bed, and if you wanted to, if like a couple had kids or something, you could sleep them up here
Yeah.
in the loft part. I just think that's such a brilliant design. And then you've got storage under there, and then storage under the desk as well. So
Yeah.
plenty
I
of
guess if you're not
space.
sleeping up there, you can.
And I mean, we're lucky with the tiny homes we do because we don't have to put kitchens or bathrooms in them because we have communal kitchen, we have a communal shower house, and a communal bathrooms. So
Yeah.
none of that has to be in here. So it really just is hangout space, desk space, sleeping space.
Sleep space, yeah. And most of your time here is spent, in the common areas, mostly outside,
Yeah,
I've found.
a lot
And now you
outside.
have the maker space in the shop, so
So
yeah.
excited to get that done.
Yes, it's just so exciting, everything going on here. So you are in the process of kind of next leveling, we're calling it. Going to get we're in construction zone right now, right? And at some point in the fall, because you can't do plantings in the summer here because it's just so hot, going to put a little landscaping down, new materials, new plantings, and it's going to
Yeah.
take on a whole different personality, which is really exciting because you've worked hard to get to where you are at this point.
Yeah, and we're going to be working with a local permaculture designer named Zach Halfin. He's out of San Marcos. So I'm sure when he starts, you'll probably be interviewing him too. He's amazing, and he works with native plantings. He does a lot of xeriscaping, and he's a permaculturist, so he works with those kind of methods.
Great. So we're going to have like a little courtyard with plantings and how
I'm so
fun.
excited.
I just can't wait to see what you do with it.
Yeah.
And so what's the story of this design? Did you find it in a book? Did you come up with it yourself or?
So originally with this one, we were wanting to move from tents to more permanent structures, but we still wanted to not have to heat and cool them because we hadn't run electricity over here yet. We just wanted something that could be a very simple build and then just have a huge bank of screened-in windows with the airflow, just to keep them, but, we have now rethought that because it's nice to have a nice warm place in the winter and a really nice cool place in the summer. So
Yeah,
the
and you're
upgrade.
bringing in a lot more staff members, volunteers, people of different functions. So you've got the need for a few more habitats now, huh?
Yeah.
Right, and
and
you got to
just-
realize, Trip, that we used to be this time of year. We used to close.
Yes, I
just-
said that on my last
Okay, right.
shoot because
Yeah.
this is the first time you guys have been fully,
Guess
and a lot of this is kind of due to the quarantine a little bit.
Yeah.
That's changed everything with the farmers market and with plantings
Yeah.
and planning for the community and not just yourselves. So, yeah, quarantine has shifted a lot of your priorities here. I notice, but also you've got the new maker space and
Yeah.
digital and education and tons of fun stuff we'll talk about in the future.
Yeah, and we want to just make sure that the spaces that people are in are really nice so that there's, happy people make better workers and better community members, and so
For
we just
sure.
want people to be in a really beautiful space that they enjoy inhabiting.
Absolutely. Well, you've done a bang up job here. I'm gonna try to maybe lay on this bed and get a little bit of
There you go.
360. It's just so hard to get a good shot because it's so small. But just like a New York apartment, every inch of space is very well
Yes.
utilized. Look at that. That mini split makes zero noise. It's
on, yeah.
highly effective. And it's really good on the electricity, right?
Yeah, it uses more than less than half of what a window unit uses.
That's amazing. I had no
You can run
idea.
them on solar panels.
Wow.
So.
All right, let's try to transition to the roundhouse.
All right.
You guys leave it. I'll try to get one shot of this part so people can see. And I will join you outside. Got a little view of the roundhouse from here. This is your view here. Those are the orchards. You've got your fire pit. Beautiful. Glass door with the fig tree outside. And you've got your bed with the Marimekko bedspread. That's me. Storage space underneath. And then more storage over here. I think they're going to do a little bit of a hanging rack. Good stuff, y'all. Tiny home. This is the A-frame. All right. So I will kind of get a far away shot over here. Maybe we could do a little walk around the exterior. Okay. All right, so the story of the roundhouse is that it started off as a yurt, right?
Yes, it started off as a yurt, and it was actually a really wonderful habitat, even though it didn't have AC or we had a wood burning stove in there, so it was warm in the winter. But it was just a wonderful. People loved the roundness of it. There's a moonroof in there that we'll show you that people really loved, and just the shape of it. So, I mean, when we went to replace the canvas, it was so shredded and rotted from this crazy Texas sun that we have that it
The
just
elements
fell
out here
apart.
are intense. I thought the
Yes.
Northeast was bad. It's really bad here.
Yeah.
So what was the frame like? So did you keep any of the round frame or did you take it
The
all out?
only thing that we kept was the ceiling beams and the moonroof and the doors. Those existed, and we replaced everything else. So we basically built a whole new building.
Little tiny space in between the doors.
Yeah.
Great. And you had built the foundation
we had-
for the yurt before.
Yes. So the foundation was here. The front porch was there. The two doors, and then we just replaced all of the walls.
Great.
So yurts are done with a sort of a folding lattice work. So we removed that and we put studs up. It was actually kind of an elaborate thing because we kept the roof on and we just put the studs up and then removed the lattice.
The
and
roof
then
never moved.
The roof never
That's
moved.
crazy.
Yeah.
But it was
Someone-
tricky. We had to come in a little. Because let's say here's the end of your rafter.
Yeah.
The yurt was like right on it, but we had to come in a little in order to give it a little bit of a roof edge to have a drip. So we had to lose a little bit
Right.
of
A
circumference.
tiny bit
Oh,
smaller.
it looks fantastic. It's
Yeah.
so exciting. And that skylight up above, I don't know what you're calling it, but
A moonroof.
the
'cause
moonroof.
It's great
oh,
for viewing the moon.
makes such a difference. And one of your volunteer farmers said, yeah, when we were thinking about, I think it was Heffy, said when we were thinking about what to do with the yurt because it was falling apart, Allison said, we can turn this into a tiny home. And everyone else was like, no, you can't do that with this. What are you talking about? Well, come check out what was possible. She was absolutely right, and it's stunning. And Shane's been putting a ton of work into this as well as Seth, who is Seth Armstrong, who is going to write a song for our podcast premiering
Nice.
August 29th, Tripping with Trip. Don't forget.
And my amazing sister, who is a drywall genius.
Oh yeah.
So we're going to go inside and I'll show you some of the design things I did. One of the things that always drove me a little bit crazy about the roundness was, if you have a queen size bed in there, it sticks into the middle of the room. So we built the bed in and framed it with closets to maximize the use of the space, which I think
Great.
frees up a lot of space. When we were thinking about the interior walls, since they're curved, we were like, what do we do in there? And you know, we don't like to use drywall because it's not eco necessarily, but for this case, it makes sense because we can bend the drywall just
Right,
with,
you had to
wetting.
wet it to bend it. Yeah. Should we do a little walk around the
Sure.
exterior? My favorite part of this are the shingles. It's just so sculptural. It looks like a little hobbit house.
Yeah.
Where did you find all the materials for this, and how did it come about?
Actually,
Should we walk around
yeah.
while we're doing it? I'll try to make this happen. We'll see. I don't know.
you know what? It's very weird. Cedar shingles are very hard to find. I really wanted a cedar shingle roof, and I had to look all over to find ones because they just don't make them. I mean, unless you're doing an entire building. And then, but I did find these with a guy outside of Austin who does kind of, he gets different building materials and sells them at a discount. And these walls are done with old cedar fencing. It's a great trick, Craigslist free. When people take down fencing, they just throw it out and they usually post it on Craigslist free. We go collect it,
Here's the slats.
and it just makes a beautiful,
Nice.
you know, there's
And didn't you guys get
cut
some
the
materials from Habitat from Humanity, or is
the
that?
windows.
The
Yeah,
windows, okay.
Yeah, they always have great deals on windows. And if you're building from scratch and you don't care what your windows size you might get, then
Yeah.
definitely go for
Well, I like the fact that, like your makerspace, you actually kind of waited for the right materials and windows to come, and then you built around that. So
Yeah.
these are all secondhand, very much less expensive than other materials, which I really appreciate.
Yeah.
And you got a little patio going on here.
Yeah.
Cool. So we'll walk
So we're
around.
doing a board and batten.
Do a little
now.
walk and talk, y'all.
This we're gonna finish all of this tomorrow, but here's the boards, and then we've been doing the battens on the top there. So we're gonna frame out this window tomorrow.
Perfectly round, and they're neighbors of the chickens. I just let the chickens fly the coop because they need a little exercise. Great. It looks so good. And so how many windows do we have? We've got 4.
We have 3.
3. Oh, could you tap my back? I think I just got a spider on it.
No, it's just a bleed.
The
There's
pests
the back
are
window,
everywhere.
Backyard.
Amazing. And you're thinking about outdoor showers perhaps over here?
We're probably gonna do a little composting toilet back here too, and maybe an outdoor shower. Yeah. So this
Great.
little neighborhood will have its own spaces.
Yes.
I kind of want every little grouping of buildings to have their own thing going on.
Great.
Here's the exterior of the mini split system.
All right. Okay.
All right.
Now we go in and see the master motor.
All right. Are we ready?
Master Mutter. Are you ready for us, Master Mutter? Check it out. Hi, Jessica.
Hello, Kim.
Jessica is a mad woman with the mud and the tools. Good Lord, you should see her use a power tool. She's a master. All right, so I'm gonna angle here. Let me see if I can.
Which one's standing in the middle there?
So this is going to be the bed platform. I'll try to get a better shot soon. All right, and then that's where the mini split is going up there. Check it out. Check out the moon roof.
Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it?
I'm gonna lie down and get dust all over me, but wow, is that
Are you ready
cool?
for us to put this in?
Are you ready? Are you ready? Should we do it? Should we do it? Okay,
Do it.
let's do it.
Ah,
The last
gotta finish
piece
full of
of
drywall.
pizza
You all right? Yeah.
going into the final
pie
pie. Yes! Oh my God! So exciting!
So we want to slide this way.
Amazing.
You got it?
I'm
good if you want to. We can snug this in.
Oh
Let
wait,
you
my
guys
side
go.
needs to come in a little. Can you come down on that corner? Damn it.
How's that? Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Little better.
I'm good. Just take as long as you need.
Movie making magic, man.
I'm trying to get a good shot. It's so hard.
Okay. So each of these panels had to be bent with water because it's a cone roof.
Oh,
So-
right. So all the walls had to be
Bent.
moistened before to soften the drywall before putting it up. That's amazing. So the last slice of the round roof pie is going in.
That's right. Oh crap! I forgot to figure out where the.
We're gonna guess.
Good. I'm good.
Look at that window. You can see the trees.
Yep.
There we go. Whoops, right through.
Hi,
Yes.
Wes. Wes Salvin
Might be
said
good at mine, but
hello.
I'm not so good at scrolling.
Oh, there it is.
I
Amazing.
don't know why.
All right, I'm gonna get up and get a better view here.
Yeah, so this bed platform will hold a queen size bed.
Fabulous. Look at the view. Yeah, what I'm standing on here.
It's kind of hard to see because there's a bunch of
Okay.
tools, but
Good.
this is
Yeah,
your
it's
little,
Hold on one second.
there's a little platform. The bed will end
but you
here,
can-
and then
Yeah.
a little platform because you always have to have a glass of water to plug in your cell phone
Yeah.
at night. So we have a plug right here.
Oh, great.
Two closets, one on either side, and
Mhm.
under the bed storage. So
Great.
like
Let me
storage.
try to get that angle if I'm not going to be stepping on things here.
You're done raising your
All
arm.
right. All right. So here is closet number 1. Are you going to put mirrors in here? Are you thinking about it? Or
Yeah, maybe on the door.
Yeah.
Make the space a little
And
bigger.
then you get a totally round wall here, which they're thinking about doing a mural later. Jessica is also a phenomenal painter.
Yeah.
And then we rotate around to the bed. So that's going to be the foot of the bed. And this is the head over here. How's it going, Jess?
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And then so after you get this last piece in, what do? You put,
Well, I have more to do over there, but I'm gonna mud.
yeah?
And,
So you put,
tape and float.
like the equivalent of caulking in and just put it in the cracks there?
Caulking? No, it's plaster, basically.
Plaster, okay.
And I put like a layer of mud, and then I put a piece of tape,
Yeah?
and then I go over the mud with, I'll go over the tape with more mud.
Okay.
And yeah,
It's like the eye of God, isn't it?
it's like, yeah, see, you can see I did some, I don't know how much you can get. But I did a
Yeah.
bunch
Here,
of
let me
tape and float over there.
flip the phone.
And because this is all new, we're doing this bizarre
Beautiful.
edge that's rounded, but it's all cracked right now because
Yeah.
I put a little bit,
Hmm.
I put the mud a little thick, but that's okay because
Closet
we can,
number 2.
closet number 2.
Great.
We can, we're gonna put a piece of tape on that and we're gonna float it out again
Yeah?
and hopefully maybe 2 pieces.
Great.
You know,
Yeah, this is a huge challenge, I bet. Round versus...
I've just never done it.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah, it looks very challenging, but amazingly cool on the final
It's
reward.
looking- yes. it's
Great.
shaping
Well, thanks for showing us around,
up. Of
Jess.
course, my friend.
The Mad Mutter. All right. This is just a little teaser, guys. We're probably gonna do a more in-depth tour and explain everything. Probably after the landscaping goes in, you won't believe the after here. It's really exciting. All right, thanks for tuning in. This is going to be broadcast on Habitable Spaces YouTube channel. We're still trying to figure things out. Wi-Fi out here, rural Wi-Fi is really bad.
Terrible. It needs to be fixed in the United States.
Yes,
Really
this
need
is
some
a
funding
huge
towards
issue
that.
out here that I'm learning about being in quarantine
Oh,
in rural America. So, but this is going to be loaded onto their YouTube channel, and I'm going to try to make daily or at least every other day broadcasts from the campus so you can see the before in construction, and then hopefully we'll bring you in for the after, and it'll be like one of those TV shows where everyone's jaw is hitting the ground and we're all going to be crying and we're going to be like, oh my God, can you believe how far we got?
The crowd, the back of
The crowd, yeah!
Wait, can you film his back, his arm out from leaning up against the wall?
What?
Oh yeah, you got drywalled.
Oh yeah?
Meow. This is what happens when you lean up against drywall.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, you guys. And we're going to try to make this a daily / every other day broadcast. Bye, y'all. Woo.
Y'all.
Bye, y'all. Bye, y'all.
All right, so y'all set then, miss?